Welcome to the 47th Annual Variety Telethon. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the children of Iowa and recognize Variety's generous supporters. Please welcome Variety of Iowa past president and Variety International board member, Stan W. Reynolds.
Well, hi there. Hey, we're socially distanced.
Yeah.
I guess we can take off our masks. My name is Stan W. Reynolds. I'm actually vice president of Variety International and former president of Variety of Iowa, 1015. And I'm here today with Lance Gardner and his wife, Rhonda. He is our current 2021 president of Variety, the children's charity of Iowa. And we're here to talk about what's going on with Variety this year. And Lance, how'd you get involved in Variety?
Yes, Stan, that's a great question. Thank you. Rhonda and I have a very good friend in Reynolds Kramer, CEO of Fairway. And 2012, I guess it was, I picked up the phone and called Reynolds to say, hey, I'm looking to get involved with another charity. Do you have any recommendations? And he goes, oh, by the way, I do. And so we started, our involvement with Variety came in 2012. It came in the golf outing. And from there, it's just been an ongoing process. And it's been quite a ride for Rhonda and I and our family.
And Rhonda, wasn't one of your first events a bike event?
It was. About 5 years ago, we had the privilege of helping distribute bikes at Edmonds Elementary in Des Moines. And I think there was around 200 bikes given away that day. We had an amazing time getting to watch the kids come in and see the big smiles on their faces. They were so excited to think they were going to walk home with a bike and a helmet.
Well, they rode home.
Rode home, that one. Some of the kids came in, had never owned a bike, had never been on a bike before. So we had the honor of helping some of the young people learn how to ride a bike.
Our kids were involved, Rhonda, as
Yes.
we remember, and we talked about this last night and this morning a little bit, that there are 7- and 8-year-old children walking into the school that have never been on a bicycle before. Not only had they not been on the bike, Rhonda, but they couldn't do what?
They couldn't ride it.
They couldn't ride it.
Well, since 2012 and even before that, we've given away thousands of bikes around the state.
Yes.
And now they're Variety branded. They're a red bike, and our good friends at Bike World have helped us out over the years. And you see these bikes. I live in the Des Moines area, and you see these bikes all over Des Moines with kids wearing their helmets and riding their bikes. I mean, that brings you joy. I mean, that's one of the many things that Variety of Iowa has done for the kids of our state.
Yeah, those bicycles, by the way, can be seen all over the state. They're not just here. I'm from Ottumwa. They gave a huge amount of bikes away in Ottumwa a few years ago. The red bike with the Variety logo, as you said, Stan, the Bike World's been a great partner for us.
Well, one thing about Variety of Iowa, it touches all 99 counties. We're not just giving away money in central Iowa. Yes, we're giving to Blank, we're giving to Mercy, we're giving to Child Serve, but we're also giving vans away in Keokuk or a specialized bike to a child in Cedar Rapids, Waterloo. All 99 counties are covered and surrounding states.
It's a great point. It's a great point. Variety, folks, has really done a great job helping the kids and meet the kids where they're at. For Rhonda and I think that's probably the most humbling thing, is to see Variety in action, to see a young child that hasn't been able to walk, stand, get into a gait trainer, that they're actually upright instead of laying down, where they can start to learn how to walk and get the use of their legs.
Well, your journey started the day after the telethon, which we had a telethon last year and then the pandemic hit. So this is kind of a hybrid of what we're doing this year. But your journey started the day after. I remember Steve Hochschild, when he was president, he said, well, I start May 1st. I said, no, Steve, you start the day after the telethon, get to work. And like all good presidents, and I've been one too, and there's been a long line of great, successful business people around Iowa that have been presidents, yourself included. Your journey started then. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
It has.
So as you think about telethon last year in 2020, right after telethon comes COVID. Comes the quarantine, and then all of a sudden everybody's got to pivot. Everybody's got to change how they operate, how their lives are working on a daily basis. And Variety, the children's charity, wasn't any different. The only difference was, between a lot of other things where the world stopped, Variety never stopped. Leanne and Margie did a great job behind the scenes, but Sherry, we have a great leader at Variety that's allowed us to continue operating and to think outside the box.
Well, the need's still there. And Sherry McMichael, our executive director, has thought differently to make the needs of children a priority.
She has.
We've eliminated, we didn't have a lot of expenses to eliminate,
right,
but we've eliminated everything we can do to make this more streamlined, because in fact, the need is greater.
It is. So, Stan, you've talked about a little bit about some of the past, being a past president and currently sitting in that seat. And our good friend Reynolds Kramer was here. Steve Hochschild will be here, one of our past presidents. As we think about what didn't stop, it's the supporters like you at Variety, that the folks that have been involved, and all of you people across the state of Iowa that continually give to Variety. It has been humbling to see your willingness to go to work for the kids. Understand this. The need did not stop. The kids need our help. Today, Stan, more than ever, as we sit in these chairs, we need their support. We need your support as we continue to do the mission for the kids.
Well, it's very important what we're going to be doing throughout our telethon process. We hope to be back in full swing next year, but we hope to have you watch and see what goes on and see what we do, and see if everybody that you know has been affected by Variety in some way in the state of Iowa. There's somebody out there that you know. So let's see what happens, and let's enjoy the rest of the show, and thank you for all your support.
We are grateful to Blank Children's Hospital, Reynolds & Reynolds Insurance, their agents and brokers for their continued support of Variety of Iowa. Hey, how lucky are we today to have our good friend, CEO of Fairway, Reynolds Kramer, with us. Reynolds, long history with Fairway and Variety. You want to talk about that a little bit?
You're right, Lance. Long history. Well over 30 years Fairway's been involved with Variety. And And much like yourself, I put in a lot of volunteer time during that time also. Past president, much like your president this year. I know the pressures of making sure this telethon goes off without a hitch. You're doing a fabulous job with your team. And yeah, over 30 years we've been raising funds for Variety.
Reynolds, tell me what it means to Fairway, the employees, to be involved with Variety.
Well, without a doubt, we know that our work, all the different activities and different promotions that we do, along with our great customers helping out, puts together a plan that helps children in this great state.
And Reynolds, we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about the employees, but also your customers and how the Roundup has affected Variety and Fairway, that partnership.
You know, back in the day, we used to do things like, you know, if it was bake sales and different things like that. Obviously, we live in a different time right now, and so we've had to adjust, and our Roundup program is one of the best things we've ever done. Our customers have been great in response. If it's 13 more cents to round up or 26 more cents, that money adds up, and once again, it all goes to helping kids with special needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Reynolds Kramer Fairway, great partners with Variety. And Reynolds, the CEO, we thank you for spending some time with us today, but we're not done yet.
We're not.
We're going to send it over to Stan W. Reynolds because we have a special gate trainer, I think, that we're going to give away.
Right. We've got a young man, Jackson, who's going to be very excited to receive this, and we're really excited to be a part of this today.
All right, Stan W., take it away.
Well, thank you, Lance. Thank you, Reynolds Kramer from Fairway. As you well know, that we're here today to give a bike away to Jackson Hunziker. Jackson is from Adel. We're here with his mom, Afton, and his dad, Brian. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jackson. Jackson is a 6-year-old twin boy, so he has a twin, with a diagnosis of cerebral palsy, visual impairment, and loss. Jackson was born at 26 weeks and spent 107 days struggling to overcome many complications. He currently lacks muscle tone and balance control to stand or walk with assistance. It is important to get children with motor issues up and moving to their greatest potential. Prolonged positioning in a wheelchair or a stroller causes contractures at the hips and knees that can result in corrective surgeries and increased physical therapy. Jackson has been using a gait trainer at his physical therapy appointments and has shown the ambition to use the gait trainer and walk. He has been able to take his very first 2 steps at the age of 5. The gait trainer will help Jackson build the strength in his legs and core. I've seen it. He will use this gait trainer for all mobility, including home use, community outings, and to interact with his peers. That means other kids in an upright position. Jackson lives in Adel with his parents, Afton and Brian, as I just said, and his twin brother, Niall, I like it. Niall, like Niall Kinnick, and his sister, Brielle. So without further ado, Reynolds Kramer and Lance are coming back on. And this is Jackson.
How much right here?
Jackson found his voice, though, which is really great. And we're maintaining social distancing. But this is the first time Jackson has been in this trainer.
Yes.
And Afton, tell us a little bit about his daily routine.
So this is his first time in this, like you said. He's a little apprehensive. His daily routine, he gets up, goes to school. He's in kindergarten, him and his brother. And then at school, he utilizes his wheelchair. And then there's an activity chair so he can raise up high and low and be down on the floor with his peers and up at tables with, when the kids are doing activities or lunch. He goes through school like all typical children do. He also has a full-time associate that is able to help move him and feed him and do all of his cares that he needs in a day. And then he rides the bus and comes home with his brother and has a regular full routine day.
Well, I've seen these gait trainers, I've seen them change how kids walk.
Yes.
I've seen kids who could never walk before,
right.
And they get in these things, and 6 months later, they're moving.
Yes.
I mean, it's all about muscle memory and building that muscle mass back up.
Yes.
And I mean, this is what Variety does.
Yes.
I mean, this is one of the greatest things about my volunteer job, and I know Reynolds appreciates it and Lance appreciates it too. You know, Reynolds, tell you've seen a lot of these things. What is one of the greatest experiences you've seen with a gait trainer?
Well, just like you mentioned, to get to ride with the siblings, right? Brother and sister, and now be out and doing stuff and active with them.
Yep.
That's a game changer for the family. So
Yes.
once again, we're just so blessed to be able to be a part of this.
Yes.
And Lance, you've seen it over the years, and as we know from before, Lance is our president of Variety this year. And I mean, how many bikes did we give away and gait trainers did we give away over the last 12 months since our last telethon?
Yeah, literally dozens and dozens. The cool thing about Jackson is Jackson has a bicycle from Variety already.
Yep.
Right.
And this is going to be another monumental stretch for him in his
Yes.
development. We're super excited to be able to participate with Brian and Afton and Jackson. It's super cool for Variety. And we're anxious to see the progress of Jackson in the future.
Yeah. So right now he's not walking. He's kind of fussy. He's, doesn't know his surroundings really well. But the awesome thing is we had to change after COVID. We had to change physical therapists and started with Child Serve. And our physical therapist introduced a gait trainer very similar to this, older model, which doesn't matter, but very similar, just to see what he'd do. He had a major surgery this summer to correct his hips, the positioning of his hips. And so once he was able to get up and start walking from that, she put him in this gait trainer. And at first he just kind of sat there just like this and was like, I don't know, you guys, but it was October when he took his first 2 steps. He literally step, and we were like, oh my gosh, And now when he goes to physical therapy and she puts him in it, he's very comfortable with his surroundings. He knows what he's in. He knows what he's supposed to do. They put this, it's like a tumble foam pad in front of him, and he'll walk up to it and push it down, and it goes boom, And then he walks up to it and pushes it down, and so he'll walk 30 feet down the hall. It's just, since October, from 2 steps to 30 feet now, it's amazing to see.
Will you do us a favor? Will you take some shots and some video clips and send them to us?
Absolutely.
Over the years so we can see his progression?
Yes.
Yep.
Because I want to see Jackson back next year when we have a real telethon or some sort of telethon.
He can actually walk.
And he can actually walk across the stage and
Yes.
show off. And one of the things that I've seen over the years is
You're okay.
it's not just getting the gait trainer, it's hanging out with the other kids.
Yeah.
Because he just wants to be a kid like everybody else.
Right. So the
Yeah.
gait trainer will go to school with him.
Right.
And my hopes is that right now with recess indoors and stuff, maybe they can get him in it, and then his peers will throw a ball around and play with him because they love to do that. And then he'll chase after. My goal is to get him comfortable at school, to chase after it and start feeling like this is an extension of his body almost, he's still kind of what's going on? This is all new, but
Yeah, because a large majority of the time he crawls. So
Yeah.
when we're at the house, most of the time he's crawling because that's just what he's comfortable doing.
Right.
And he'll get all the way across the house pretty quick crawling now. But, we want to continue to have him develop and start to walk eventually.
Right. And so now he'll be able to have something at home where we could put him in it and he could walk down the hall rather than Army crawling down the hall to his bedroom. And so that'd be pretty cool.
Well, these things aren't cheap. Lance, how much does this one cost?
Oh, well, they're in the thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. So,
Yeah.
so as a donor out there and you're giving to Variety, this is where your money's going. It's staying here in Iowa, and we give in all 99 counties. I mean, fairways all over the state and other states too. And they're such an important partner in Variety, and this is where the money's going.
Yeah.
And with your help, with doing something at Fairway or donating directly, these are impact dollars. This is real stuff. I mean, it's not going to fancy offices and high towers. I mean, it's going to mobility for kids.
Yeah. And it's really a blessing to have too, because, he is disabled. So there's a lot of equipment that children need when they have disabilities. And oftentimes insurance won't pay for it.
Right.
They will pay for a wheelchair, but then other mobile equipment such as this, they kind of code it as a wheelchair, and then they just shy away from
You're
it.
one and done.
Yeah.
But Jackson's going to grow.
So, yeah.
And as he grows, he has the bike,
Yep.
and that bike expands.
Yes.
But this will expand with him too, to a point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
for
there's
sure.
going to come a time where he's going to outgrow this, and he's going to be 12, and
Yep.
everybody's taller than me, so he's going to probably need another gait trainer, another bike. Well, hopefully Variety's around, and with
Yeah.
all Variety's donors' help, and Fairway, we can get this done.
And at that time, we could probably pass this one along to the next kid.
Yep, that's smaller.
Well, I hope I always say, I hope they tear them up, because that means they're being kids, what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I would like to thank you all for coming. Lance, do you have any other words you want to say?
No, again, it's super special to have Jackson with us today. Variety is absolutely tickled to be able to present Jackson with a gait trainer.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
And with the continued generous support of Fairway, who's been a partner with Variety for decades, and my good friend Reynolds Kramer, we'd like to thank you. Reynolds, a couple last words from you, please.
Get them out.
Yeah, just how fortunate we are to be living in this great state with Variety. And think of what's happening with Jackson. The fact that not only does he have this amazing type of equipment, but he's utilizing it at Child Serve and getting the specialized help he needs right in the Des Moines area. So another great organization that Variety helps support.
Yeah.
Yep, Child Serve has been one of our original partners, and we love what they do at Child Serve.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
we're going to the next segment, but we like to thank you all, and we're going to go to the check presentation here right after this.
Variety of Iowa would like to thank Fairway Meat and Grocery for their statewide support. We're lucky at Variety to have great partners like Fairway and our good friend Reynolds Kramer, the CEO. And we're here in an exciting time. Stan, talk about what's getting ready to happen.
Well, it is an exciting time because we're going to do a check presentation from Fairway. But before we do that, I just want to, ask Reynolds, my good friend Reynolds Kramer, what is some of the great experiences you've had with Variety, and what's touched you over the years, personally?
Well, without a doubt, Variety has touched myself, my family in so many positive ways. It's all the organizations that Variety gives money to. So, Stan, as you know, we're raising all this money now, and we're going to give it away, right? It goes away this year to all the great organizations. Next year, we start again at zero. We got to raise more money. But I've personally had an opportunity to work with great places like Child Serve, Easter Seals, etc. There's so many great opportunities out there that utilize funds that Variety raises. And so to be able to see how that touches the life of a child, the families, the grandparents, just all of that is an amazing thing.
Well, it's all about the families. It's all about the families of the kids, because when you change a kid's life, you change that family's life forever. And with your donations and with Fairway's donations, we make a difference. But we're going to be broke after our show. We're going to spend all the money. But we have some money to be spent. And
I think we have a check,
We
huh?
do have a check
All right.
from Fairway right here. But it's not my check. I didn't sign it. And it's from Fairway Reynolds.
Right. On behalf of all our employees and all of our great customers, we want to thank them for helping Variety get a check today for $235,000.
That's going to go a long way, Reynolds. And
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank
We'd
you,
like
Reynolds.
to thank
Thanks,
you and all your
Fairway.
employees all over the state.
Thank you to our sponsors, Wellmark and Green State Credit Union, for their generous support of Variety of Iowa. Welcome, David Brown from Wellmark.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, David is the Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and the Treasurer, wearing a lot of hats.
Yep, they keep me busy for sure.
Certainly. And behind you are your employees, some employees from Wellmark that are manning phones today, taking your calls for the Children's Charity of Iowa Variety. And David, as we think about Wellmark and their interaction with Variety, let's talk a little bit about how you encourage your employees to participate and support Variety.
Sure. Well, we have a couple of programs that enable people to contribute to anything they're passionate about. And one of the things about Variety is it's such a good cause. Many of our employees really value the opportunity to give to Variety. They can do it one of two ways. If they give a financial donation, Wellmark matches dollar for dollar that financial support.
Fabulous.
The other option is if people, sometimes it's not that easy to come up with money. If people choose to volunteer their time, Wellmark will convert those hours into dollars that will then be donated to the charity of the person's choice.
It's quite a program, and the matching gift program as well. And you've touched on a little bit of the giving and how it works, but dollar for dollar match, I think you just mentioned that. That's pretty powerful.
It really is, and for our employees, we can make it even really easy for them, is they can even have that deducted from their paycheck, or they can just write a check and put in a matching form. So there's a number of ways that we can help our employees give to a great cause like Variety.
Wellmark's been a great partner with Variety. It's storied, and as you think about the dollars, there's a number out there that Wellmark's matched and given to Variety over the years. How much money has that generated?
Well, just last year, Wellmark, through corporate giving, through its employees, through the matching of employee gifts, gave over $115,000 to Variety.
Wow. It's fabulous, amazing work. And today, under COVID, and you know this, of all the people that I've been on stage with talking about matching gifts and the importance to give to Variety, the children's charity, to help kids. But today, under COVID, it's more important than ever.
Absolutely. One of the things we've learned about COVID is, first of all, people with special needs in a lot of ways are suffering and struggling more than most Americans. In addition, one of the things I think we've all learned from this is the value of getting to be outside. And one of the great things that Variety does through its inclusive playgrounds, through its bikes program, is find ways to help children with special needs to be able to be outside, enjoy the fresh air, and that's never been more important than it is now.
Yeah, David, you can tell it's in your heart. It's in the heart of your employees. They've demonstrated that with their support of Variety, the children's charity. We would like to say thank you for your leadership. Thank you for Wellmark and all the employees and their giving and their efforts for Variety of Iowa.
Well, thank you for all that this organization does for the children of Iowa. It's wonderful.
Now let's take a look at some of the organizations that have benefited from Variety of Iowa's support.
Each year, Variety provides grants to hospitals and nonprofit organizations that provide opportunity, hope, and care to children throughout Iowa. Variety's support of Iowa's hospitals and care facilities is long-standing, as Variety strives to ensure that children have access to the most advanced technology and resources when they receive care and treatment. Variety also aspires to create accessibility and inclusion for children by funding inclusive playgrounds and by providing Variety vans to organizations to assist with transportation needs. Variety recognizes the ever-changing needs of children, and through the Variety Grant Program, helps organizations meet those needs. Variety's grant funding has provided high-quality equipment to NICUs, increased advocacy and accessibility of proper car seats and child safety education in vehicles, support to assess and diagnose autism spectrum disorders, increased access to mental health therapists and behavioral specialists to provide proper evaluation and treatment, as well as support of wellness programs for children with Down syndrome to help them develop healthy lifestyle habits. Variety's commitment to Iowa's children has helped grow facilities, enhance programs, and serve more children and families. With your support, Variety is able to ensure children have the opportunity to reach their full potential.
Variety of Iowa is grateful to Graham Construction, PDM, and the Absolute Group for their continued support. When we think about Variety, we think about our VIPs and how they impact the organization as a whole. Today, we're lucky to have three very prominent VIPs for Variety with us. Sonny Hall from the Absolute Group, Steve Hoschelt from Graham Construction, and Adam Peterson from PDM. Steve, you've been involved with Variety a long time, board president, and arguably one of the most influential Variety members today. What is a VIP and why is it important to the organization?
Yeah, I've been a VIP for a little over 20 years, and a VIP stands for very interested person. And we're asked to go out and give or get $2,500 every year as we come into Telethon.
That's really good. Sonny Hall, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for being here. You are of this kind of group, probably the newest member of Variety, but a big influencer for us. And you've been involved in VIP. Why did you get engaged, and why is it important for you to raise dollars for Variety?
Well, my engagement comes from being friends with these two gentlemen right here, actually. They've been very active in it. I started asking some questions, and they brought me along, 3-4 years ago. And I'm actually pretty fortunate to have a lot of friends that are willing to step up and help. So it's been an awesome trip.
It's a great privilege to have friends that are able to give to Variety as well, and for you to raise dollars.
Yeah.
How do those dollars, how do they impact you as far as seeing them go to work for the kids?
It's pretty, it's just about the most rewarding thing that you can have. Your sense of gratitude and being humble, it's rewarding, it's fulfilling, so.
Thank you, thanks for being here. Adam, board member, past board member, involved with Variety, the VIP section, and I know you and Steve, as well as Sonny, you guys have a kind of becoming a storied friendship here, but talk about your involvement and what does it mean to you year after year to raise dollars for Variety?
Yeah, I was very, lucky when Steve introduced me to Variety, several years ago. I'm at a stage in my life where I have a wonderful family, a healthy family, a good, solid business that cares about their community, and getting involved with Variety and learning about Variety has given me a mechanism to give back. And not just us me as an individual, or us as a family, or PDM as an organization, but really, our extended family and our extended friendships, and it's just been a wonderful experience. And the thing that makes Variety also special for us, there's a couple of things. One is the confidence that we have. The nice part about being a board member, I learned about the vetting process that Variety goes through. They collect the dollars, and then when they go to distribute the dollars to Iowa Children's Charities, that vetting process is very rigorous. So you have the confidence as a donor that your dollars are going to be spent well, spent efficiently. And then also, as I'm meeting with other potential donors, it makes an easy conversation. And the second thing for me is Variety does a wonderful job with at-risk youth. And that's something that I personally tie close to, and they do a lot of wonderful work, and we love that it helps everything. But that's a piece of the puzzle, especially in today's time. Those kids are have as much need as ever, and so it's easy to come back to try to help.
Adam, thank you. You just prompted me again on COVID's tough. It's been a tough year for kids, and Steve, as you think about that. You think about what we're missing in a live telethon and the need's still there. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that the need this year, as you've probably heard, is greater than ever. And the kids that we serve are probably the ones that are being impacted the most as far as kids that are at risk. And so not having telethon this year, that presents a challenge to these kids. And so we have to work that much harder for the kids that can't go out and do the things that we do. They don't have a platform to go ask. We're here today to ask for your gift to help these kids that can't ask. And I would just ask you to consider all of the things that you have in your life and the things that we take for granted, that when you think about writing a check or giving a gift, that you give generously, and hopefully we'll be back to telethon next year and with all the same energy and inspiration.
Sonny, Steve, Adam, thank you for leading with Variety. Thank you for leading in our community.
Thank you to Principal, the Principal Charity Classic, for their generous support.
Special day at Telethon when we have with us Doug Hapgood, the tournament director for Principal Charity Classic, our good friend Nick Cecere, Senior Vice President of Principal, and the PCC Board President. Nick, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's a mouthful. We talked about that a minute ago.
Yes,
it's great. Listen, Doug, tell us a little bit about PCC, the Charity Classic, and how it affects the community.
Yeah, well, obviously we're the annual PGA Tour event here in Des Moines, and we sort of focus on three things. It's children, it's community, and it's charity. Yeah. And that's why we're here today. Obviously, last year was a challenge. We tried twice to have this event, but luckily Nick will get into some of the numbers, but we were able to still benefit a number of charities when they needed it the most.
Nick, let's talk about the impact.
Yeah.
Big impacts Principal has had, and specifically the Charity Classic on the community and Variety as well.
Well, Lance, our partnership with Variety and Principal Charity Classic is second to none. Tremendous partners in helping kids, and the tournament is all about helping kids. You heard Dan talk about this all the time. Is this tournament is about the kids, and about the kids. And last year, when Doug mentioned, we tried twice to have the tournament. We didn't get the tournament off, but we were able to raise $6.7 million for kids charities, which is an amazing. It's really an amazing sentiment about our community. More than anything else, our board members, the local sponsors, our community all rallied with no tournament. We were able to raise $6.7 million for kids, which got us over the $30 million mark over the life of the tournament since Principal has been the sponsor. So we're looking really forward to this year to be able to raise more money for kids and to give away more bikes.
So we have a PCC date, Doug, but before we get there, let's talk a little bit about a joint venture that Principal Charity Classic, yourself, you're very involved with, and Variety and Food Bank of Iowa. Tell us about that in a time of need.
Yeah, no, I know you were very close to this too, and I remember when I got the call from Sherry, and she said, hey, we need to do something fast. And we reacted probably by the end of that day. And, we just knew that there was a need in this community. We knew it was immediate. It was in June. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I made a quick call to Nick, and he, before I even said, is this okay? He said, just do it. And that's always been our approach. So we were so happy to help Food Bank of Iowa, and Michelle does such an awesome job with everything there. So it was really a no-brainer for us. And this year especially was why PCC does what it does, so that we can give back in times of need to programs that need it most. And that was a great example. So an easy yes from us.
It was a great joint venture in what we call a really critical time under COVID, and thank you for your partnership. Nick, we hear Abram in the background.
Yes, we do.
Which is great. But before we get to Abram, we have a check, I believe.
Yes, we do. We have a check from the Principal Charity Classic in the amount of $90,000 to Variety for all the great work that you all do. And Lance, I want to give a special thanks to you for your leadership over these past years here with Variety and with Sherry, and thank you very much for everything that you guys do for our tournament and for our community.
Well, thank you, Nick. Nice, kind words. And it's our honor. It is a pleasure to be able to partner with the Principal Charity Classic, to the both of you and your leadership in our community. A $90,000 check, ladies and gentlemen, from the Principal Charity Classic, and money and dollars going right back to work in our community. And Nick, as we think about dollars going back to work in the community, you and I were just talking about how important it is to give to the kids. Yeah. And if you could tell the folks at home today and across Iowa what it means just to give one more time to the kids of Iowa.
And thanks, Lance. And it's so critical, and especially in our time right now where, kids are in need, families are in need. And, I know this year there's going to be a virtual telethon, but please, I urge you to do whatever you can to help contribute to the great work that Variety does through your time, through your efforts, and through your dollars.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to head over to Studio B because we have Abram waiting for us right now in a special bike presentation.
All right.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing great, thank you.
Doing great. Doug, Nick.
Hi.
Meet Abram.
Hey, Abram, how are you, buddy?
Yeah. Abe, can you say hi?
Abram and Aaron, this isn't your first time to Telethon, is it? You've been here before.
We were here a couple years ago.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's great. So, Erin Bowman, the mom of Abram, and Abram was born as an 8-year-old boy with a rare genetic syndrome that only affects boys. He is one of less than 50 in the world known to have this condition. Abram also has autism, epilepsy, ADHD, and intellectual disability, and is nonverbal. He received a specialized bike in 2017, which we happened to be there for. It was awesome. But he's outgrown the bike. So as we think about that, owning his own specialized bike will continue to provide significant benefits to Abram. And if you watched Abram today, he's walked around the studio, he's just amazing. He will engage in physical exercise to increase the strength in his legs and his core, as well as provide cardiovascular exercise. The bike will also give him the freedom to ride his bike in the neighborhood safely. That bike, the bike that Abram's on now, he originally outgrew the original bike as we talked, but the new bike that he's on now will provide an adaptive physical education program for him. And Doug and Nick is part of Principal Charity Classic. It's great to see the dollars at work and how they really affect kids in their common life. Isn't that true?
Yeah, no, this is why we do this, and it's so great to meet the families and be a part of this, and it means a ton to us and the board for PCC and the players that you've seen a lot of them be a part of these contributions, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, and last year, Nick, we were interrupted a little bit. This year, we're going to be live again.
Yep.
And we're going to have some more bikes like these that are going to affect kids like Abram.
Absolutely, and you know, Lance, thanks to the Variety Club and yourself and everyone else that helps us raise money for kids, just to see the smile on Abram's face when he gets this bike and riding around in it is worth, you know, every hour and every minute of work that we do to raise money for kids like Abram and families like yours. So we couldn't be more happy about the bike and everything else he's got going here, and we wish him very well.
Aaron, Variety's touched you in a lot of ways. This is the second time, and we've said that multiple times already, but
yeah.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit and how Abram's grown and advanced being able to ride a bike?
Of course. The first bike he got really gave him the freedom to get out and just be a little boy in our neighborhood. Right. And he outgrew it pretty fast. He's getting big. Yeah. So he's been home because of COVID for the last year. He's been without therapies and PT, and he's really kind of started to struggle. So this is going to get him back to where he needs to be and get some exercise and get him out and get him some fresh air.
Right. Well, hopefully
really
spring's
thankful.
coming, right?
Yes.
Especially for Abram. Listen,
So,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the guys from Principal Charity Classic and Doug and Nick and your leadership and all you do for the community. With that, we're going to watch Abram slide right out of here. Let's see, Abram, can you pedal for us?
You ready?
We know he can.
Thanks,
There you
guys.
go.
All right,
It was
thank
really
you.
important.
You're very welcome.
Look at that.
Go, Bubba. Uh-oh.
Fabulous.
There we go.
We are grateful to Mary Greeley Medical Center, Farm Bureau Financial Services, and Merchants Bonding Company for their continued support of Variety of Iowa.
Now, let's take a look at Variety's newest all-inclusive playground at Riverview Park.
The Variety Star Playground at Riverview Park in Des Moines is Variety's third and most recent inclusive playground in Iowa. Variety firmly believes that all children should have the opportunity to safely experience a playground, which is why they partnered with Des Moines Parks and Rec and the Parks Area Foundation to renovate this community space with an inclusive playground and outdoor amphitheater. The 14,500 square foot inclusive playground pays homage to Riverview Amusement Park that resided in this location from 1915 to 1978. The playground equipment was modeled after former Riverview amusement rides like the Wild Mouse and also features Ferris wheel-shaped climbing bars and a miniature funhouse. Not only does the playground equipment capture the history of the former amusement park, but it also addresses the need for inclusive and sensory amenities at playgrounds. The rubberized safety surface improves accessibility and softens falls. Swings with adaptive seats and harnesses provide additional support and safety measures for children. Ramps throughout the playground increase accessibility for children who utilize mobility equipment. A merry-go-round with high-back seats and transfer points allow children in wheelchairs or walkers to safely play. The playground also features many other inclusive and sensory amenities, and credits to the former Riverview Amusement Park. This inclusive playground will help break down barriers, promote healthy physical activity, and foster friendships among all children in the heart of Des Moines. We hope to see you soon at the new Variety Star Playground at Riverview Park.
Variety of Iowa would like to thank the Central Iowa office of the Principal Professional Network and McGowan, Hurst, Clark, and Smith for their wonderful support. Welcome to the 2021 Variety Children's Charity Telethon. My name's Lance Gardner, and I'm with you today and with my colleagues from the Principal Financial Professional Network, the Business Center of Central Iowa. We have been participating in Variety for a while, and today I have with us Lee Bismeyer, one of my teammates. And Lee, talk a little bit about how we've interacted with Variety, the children's charity.
Well, we've been involved with Variety for a while. We do a lot of giving within the community, and one of the things that we focus on, because we live here, we work here, our families are from here, we look at Variety as an organization that does a lot within this community. So it was a no-brainer for us to connect there and do a lot of work with them.
Ben Hops, as you think about Variety, the children's charity, and our business center, how long have we participated and what has it meant? Who's involved? What's it look like for us?
Yeah, so our office has been involved for 8 years, led by you. I know that you lead a number of the activities, you organize this, and what it's become for us is really a big part of our culture. So there are a number of people who I know do this year round. I know there are some who, Variety time, this time of year, we start getting the emails and we see that and people get more and more active with it. But what we found is it's really become a family thing in a lot of ways. So we have advisors who are active in it. We have staff who are active with it. And it's really fun to watch as some of the family members coming in, working together as a team on whatever activity that comes along. And again, it's just become a big part of our culture, and we love interacting with the folks at Variety as well.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. And we're thinking about exactly where the money goes that we've raised. Do you want to talk a little bit about the mobility and some of the impact we've made as an organization?
Yes, that's been the exciting part for us. We usually set goals related to what we want to achieve related to fundraising in our office. And the last few years we've done bicycles, we've also supported a van, and that's been the most exciting thing for us because they come to our office and we're able to give it away and do it in a group setting. So we actually get to see our impact of our giving, and it's been a blast to see it. It is so much fun to give away a bicycle and see the happiness on some of these kids' faces.
Yeah, thank you. Scott, wow, think about your leadership in our organization is appreciated, and talk about leadership with Variety and people today, how it impacts those kids and why they should give.
Well, as you know, there's many charities we can give to these days, right? There's a ton of theirs there. But Variety being the children's charity is really something that got me. And the example I have of that is the day a young child drove up in the van to our office. And they came upstairs to receive the bike that we raised the money for. And that poor young man got a bad shake in life and probably didn't think he was going to be able to ride a bike. And to see that smile on that face is something I won't forget. And is a reason why I give to Variety, and it makes a difference for me. Dig deep, as you say. I appreciate your leadership, what you've given to us, and for us to give and be a part of Variety. So I appreciate that. But like you said, dig deep. You'll get twice as much when you see that kid smile.
Yeah, so on behalf of our business center, Scott Kruger, who leads us, Lee Bismeyer, Ann Hudson, Ben Hops, and myself, Lance Gardner, we're asking you today to take 5 minutes, pick up the phone, call Variety, call the Children's Charity, and donate. Make a difference in a kid's life today. Your help is greatly appreciated.
Thank you to our sponsors, Metro Heating and Cooling and the Italian American Women of Iowa for their continued support of Variety.
Today we welcome Christina Tim, the president of Young Variety. Christina, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, wow, Telethon 2021 is looking a little different. right?
Say that.
You could say that, right? Why Young Variety? Why should somebody be involved with an organization like Young Variety?
Yeah, so when I came to Des Moines as a young professional, you want to get engaged, you want to get involved. And I wanted to join something that had an impact and something that I could see like my efforts to fruition. So that's where I found Young Variety and saw the things that they were doing in the community and haven't looked back since.
As you think about Young Variety and the impact in the community, what's most important to you about that impact?
The most important thing to me is just being able, again, it goes back to seeing the efforts that I put in. It's the money I'm seeing raised as part of Young Variety, I'm now able to help grant those out to the organizations that need them. And then full circle, going on grant tours as part of Young Variety, I see the impact of those dollars on those organizations, whether it's their building renovations, their programs, or even just equipment needs that they do.
You know, Christina, a minute ago you had shared with me all of those things. Children's hospitals, the specialized bicycles. Why is that important to families?
I think it's important to families because you have your kids and you just want them to have normal lives, right? Regardless of their scenario. I mean, our mission is to help those that are at risk, underprivileged, or are living with special needs, and we want them to have, the same access, the same programs, the same things that other kids in their communities are doing, and Variety helps support that.
That's wonderful. Christina, we have your counterpart, Jacob Repp, with us today. Jacob, welcome. Yeah. Listen, Jacob, as we think about Young Variety and think about the opportunities that are out there, tell me about Young Variety's community impact. What's that look like?
Yeah, it looks a lot like just getting involved. So grant tours, huge, absolutely huge. You get to see dollars at work. And then we're at Telethon, so we're raising money. So we need more boots on the ground throughout the year. And then for moments like this next year. So we need more people that want to make an impact. And that's ultimately the reason that Young Variety is like my favorite organization for young professionals, because you want professional development. You want all those things that other groups offer, but we want to make an impact. And as we make an impact, you get to see your actions, and Christina talked about this, at work and changing the lives of children and their families in Iowa, and there's not a better thing in the world.
Christina, Variety, Young Variety specifically, has raised $500,000 in the last 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. As you think about the folks across Iowa and all the communities that we impact, what do you want to say to those folks about giving and telethon? Why now?
I think now, especially with everything, we see the need out there. We have a lot of kids that are, no longer going to schools or are getting the impact and need additional resources. And we already had that in there. So I think, especially this year, the need's greater. And that's why we need to, as Jacob mentioned, get more boots on the ground, more supporters that are ready to help in and really bridge that gap.
Jacob Repp, Christina Tim, Young Variety 2021. Christina, thank you for your leadership specifically. And Jacob, we're looking forward to yours in the coming year. Iowa, some of the great young leaders are right here at Young Variety, and they're asking you for your support. Please support the children of Iowa. Now, we're going to take another look at additional organizations that have benefited from Variety of Iowa's support.
Each year, Variety awards funding to nonprofit organizations that work diligently to improve the lives of children in Iowa. Through the grant program, Variety is able to create positive change and increase its reach of serving children who are underprivileged, at risk, critically ill, or living with special needs. Many children's organizations throughout the state of Iowa are facing needs greater than ever before. But with Variety's funding, they can continue to provide hope, opportunity, and care for the youngest members of our communities. Organizations that receive Variety grants range in size and focus, but all share the goal of bettering the lives of Iowa's children. Variety Grant funding has provided art supplies for children to exercise their creative minds, increase access to STEM programming for underprivileged children, desktop computers and software to assist children who are learning virtually, backpacks with school supplies to ensure children have the tools they need to succeed, as well as camp sponsorships for children who are critically ill or are suffering from an ongoing medical condition. These grant awards provide essential program support and ensure children have the resources they need to reach their full potential. Thanks to the generous support from Iowans like you, Variety is able to continue serving children by providing funding to nonprofit organizations throughout the state.
Variety of Iowa is grateful to ChildServe, Easter Seals, and Mercy One Children's Hospital for their continued support.
Hi, welcome Variety viewers. My name is Brad Waller. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Community Relations at the Hy-Vee Corporate Office. I just want to welcome you all today. It's a little bit different arrangement, but we're still excited that we can still have something going on with the Variety Telethon, and we certainly encourage you out there viewing this to call in for your pledges. It's a pleasure for me to kind of serve as MC for this particular segment, and next time I see Stan W. Reynolds, I will definitely be scolding him for not being here. But let me introduce you to some of my Hy-Vee friends here. To my left, we have Jamie Stevens, District Vice President, Central Region with Hy-Vee, Joe Milnes, Doug Metzger, and Jen Capriva. All three area store directors here and do just such a wonderful job here in the Des Moines area and with Hy-Vee. So we're here to talk about Hy-Vee's commitment and our relationship with Variety, the children's charity, over the years. And Hy-Vee has been involved with Variety since 1983. And to date, we've helped raise over $19 million to serve the kids and families here in Iowa through Variety's help. It's been a wonderful relationship, something we're very proud of and something that we continue to really support hard, not just from a corporate level, but from our stores and from all of our employees too. It's very important for us to be involved, and I've had the pleasure, as have these folks up here, to work for 3 different CEOs, and I had a personal relationship with even Dwight Vredenberg, our longtime CEO. And though they're all unique leaders, the thing that they all were committed to was our service to the communities where we have our Hy-Vee stores. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our customers. We want to make sure we're taking care of the people that live in the communities that we serve. So that's been a really important part of Hy-Vee since we started 90 plus years ago. I do want to ask Jamie here. Jamie's been in the Des Moines market a couple different times. And I want to just ask Jamie, hey, you know, you've been involved with Variety for a long time. You left Des Moines for, a little bit, and now you're back. Why is this so important for you, not just from a store level point, but also from just personally? What does it mean to you to be involved with Variety?
Sure. Well, my Variety journey started, Variety Iowa journey started back in 2006. And so it's been a long journey, and I've been involved with them every single year. Had the opportunity to be on the board of directors for Variety for a few years, and to be able to see a child's face light up when you give them a bike, or you get the opportunity to talk to them and see exactly what Variety Club has done for them personally, it's worth every penny that has ever been donated, or every event that we ever put on. It's just so much fun to be a part of and enriching in my life, and so that's why it's so important to me.
Well, Hy-Vee, traditionally, we always we always staff the donation phones at the end of the telethon from 4:30 to 6, and we have a row of 18 folks that are our VIP phone members, and then we have about 25 to 30 other Hy-Vee staff and employees that do the other phones. And you know, Joe, you've been involved with this in the past, and I know your family's been involved in the past. Why is it important for you and for your family, and what steps do you take as a store director to get your employees engaged and encouraged to do something like this?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something that, having worked for Jamie back in the early 2000s, where he got me really involved with Variety Club just from an early get-go. It was really important to him, so I could see how important it was to the market. It's something that we go around and let our employees know what's going on, and they always know the week that it's going on, the telethon and everything that goes with that. So Jamie kind of set the example a long time ago, and it's just something I've been really honored to follow through with all these years.
Well, we appreciate the support that you give at your store level, all your employees. I know each one of you personally dedicates a lot of time during this time of year to help with Variety, so thank you for that. And you know, what's really special for me is I've been a part of Variety from a Hy-Vee standpoint since I started in 1999. But beyond that, as a survivor of a car accident and suffering a debilitating injury which left me in a wheelchair, as a 14-year-old boy, I was given services provided by Variety back in the late 1980s. So for me personally, this just means so much that once I got into Hy-Vee, there was a way for me to give back, not just because of my job, but because of the volunteer opportunities that I had to help with Variety. And I've been working on the telethon staff for a number of years. So this is really important to me. And it's also really important to me because one of my favorite parts of the telethon is doing our bike giveaway. And we're all gonna be a part of that here in a little while. But it's very special. And you as a viewer are gonna see how special it is. We're gonna change the life of a young child. And that's what this is all about. This is what the fundraising is about. This is what your donation is about. So please stay tuned. Right now we're gonna head over to Studio B for the bike presentation. Thank you.
Variety of Iowa is grateful to Hy-Vee for their continued statewide support.
Well, hi, and we are back. Glad to be back with my Hy-Vee friends for a very special segment. And I want to introduce some very, very special friends, the Pagansky family. Here to my left, we have this beautiful young lady, Victoria, and behind her, Mom Amanda, and off to her left, 8-year-old brother, William, who's a little bit nervous because I told him I was going to ask him a couple questions, so we'll see what happens. This is a really, really special part of why Hy-Vee gets involved. Each year, we're able to give away 2 adaptive bicycles to a young child in need. And Victoria here, this sweet 4-year-old girl, was born with some special needs. She does require a custom adaptive seated wheelchair and has not had an opportunity to do much standing. And because of Victoria's weak extremities and decreased muscle tone, the standard that we are going to be able to provide for her is going to provide her with appropriate head and trunk support. It's going to be beneficial to her bones, to her circulation, to her respiration, to her digestion. And we're excited that we're going to be able to provide this standard on behalf of Hy-Vee through Variety to Victoria. So behind me, we have Mom Amanda. Amanda, thank you for being here. Thanks for bringing your family here. Talk a little bit about what this means and how this is going to benefit the whole family.
It means that she's not going to be just in her wheelchair all the time. She will be able to put weight on her own legs, and hopefully that will help with like her hips and her digestion for sure, and just to be able to get to participate in more than one way. We're pretty active family, so we like to do things, and we're hoping that, you know, this will allow her to be involved in more ways than one.
Well, I can tell she's very attentive. I've already shared with her, she's wearing my favorite color, blue. That's a beautiful ribbon she has there. You know, it's hard as a family having a child with special needs, and there's a lot of burden that most people, most families don't realize what you have to go through. So talk a little bit just about what it's going to mean for you, for William, for Victoria, in the long run, what kind of benefit this will be for all of you as a family. And it's, I already said, you know, some of these segments get a little bit emotional, and that's quite all right, Amanda.
It's going to mean a lot to us. Sorry.
You're fine. You are fine.
Our goal is always to, oh goodness.
I know there's going to be just so many health benefits to Victoria, but I don't think I think we underestimate a lot of the emotional benefits that are going to come with this too, and for you and for William to being able to see Victoria stand up on her own with the help of the stander, knowing all of the benefits that she is going to have physically, but also all of those emotionally and psychologically that it's going to benefit her as she continues to grow through this. So William, you're the oldest brother, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm an oldest brother too. So I understand how important it is to be a big brother, especially to a little sister, because I have a little sister. Tell me, how cool is it going to be to see Victoria in that stander and you will be able to look her in the eye as she's standing right there next to you?
Really amazing.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think she's going to be excited about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice her being able to move and do things.
Right. And you're a pretty active family from what your mom said.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you like to do?
Mostly just run around, and other than that, now just pretty much all video games.
All video games?
Yeah.
Running around. That sounds like a typical 8-year-old boy. Yeah. Like most 8-year-old boys out there. Well, isn't this going to be really cool that Victoria's going to be in that stander and you can run around with her and she'll be able to play video games with you. So I know you're excited. You had already talked about that.
Yeah.
Listen, and looks like she's getting kind of antsy. Yeah. And I know we're not going to put Victoria in the stander right now, but we are really excited down the road for you to provide some pictures or even video to Hy-Vee and to Variety and showing us the things that you guys are doing as a family. So this would not be possible without the support of all of you out there watching and making pledges. So please continue to call in, continue to make pledges. These are the wonderful stories that we have that we can share with you about how your donations are making such an impact and such a difference for these kids in our state. So thank you on behalf of the Pagansky family and on behalf of Hy-Vee. We just want to say thank you and God bless. So continue pledging.
Thank you for joining us for the 47th Annual Variety Telethon. We appreciate your continued support and dedication to caring for Iowa's children.